Have you ever just looked at the phone in your hand or maybe the shoes on your feet and wondered, how did this get here? Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain. We're diving into the incredible life of a product, from just a tiny spark of an idea all the way to your shopping cart. Let's get into it.
I mean, we are surrounded by all this amazing stuff every single day, right? But it's so easy to forget the wild journey these things have been on. It's this complex dance of creativity, strategy, and a whole lot of hard work. And today, we're going to break it all down, step by step.
Every great product needs a champion. It needs that one person, that visionary, who guides it from being just a random thought to something you can actually hold. So let's meet the unsung hero of the product world.
And here they are, the product manager. This is our product's champion. You can see them right there in the middle, kind of like a master juggler, balancing three huge areas: business, technology, and user experience, or UX for short. UX is really all about making sure the product is simple and even fun to use. They're the glue that holds this whole thing together.
So when I say the word product, what do you think of? Probably something physical, right? A gadget, a car. But the real definition is so much bigger. A product is basically anything that solves a need or a want you have. It could be that car, sure, but it could also be a new app on your phone or even that amazing vacation you've been dreaming of. It's not just what it does, it's also about how it makes you feel.
To really get what makes a product tick, I love this analogy. Think of an onion. Seriously, a product has all these different layers, and to really understand it, you've got to peel them back one by one. And this model, from the marketing legend Philip Kotler, shows us exactly how to do it.
Okay, let's peel back this onion using a car as an example. At the very center, the absolute core is the core benefit. I need to get from point A to point B. The next layer out is the basic product, 4 wheels, an engine, something that moves. Then comes the expected product. You'd probably expect it to have air conditioning, maybe a radio. The augmented product is where it gets fun. This is your premium sound system, your sunroof, the cool stuff. And then finally, you've got the potential product. This is everything it could become. Think self-driving features, future upgrades. It's stacking these layers of value that turn something basic into something people actually crave.
Okay, so we've got our champion, and we understand the layers of our product idea. But how does it actually get made? Well, it's not magic, that's for sure. It's a very, very structured process.
This funnel you're looking at, this is the roadmap. It's the new product development process, and it's a tough 8-step journey that starts with a sea of possibilities and boils them down into one single, market-ready product. It's basically survival of the fittest for ideas. And it all kicks off with a massive brainstorm. Companies cast this huge net, pulling in ideas from absolutely everywhere. Their own employees, their customers, they even look at what competitors are doing. At this stage, it is all about quantity, not quality. Seriously, no idea is a bad idea just yet. Now, after all that screening and developing, we get to the moment of truth. Test marketing. This is a massive reality check. Before a company spends millions on a huge launch, they'll release a prototype in a small, controlled area to see if it actually works. Will people actually pull out their wallets and buy this thing? This is where you find out.
So, the product made it through the gauntlet. It's been tested, it's ready to go. Now, it's time for the big show, the launch. But what happens next? Well, it probably isn't what you think.
See, a product launch isn't like flipping a switch where everyone rushes to buy it at once. It's more like a wave. As this curve shows, people adopt new things at totally different speeds, and we can actually group them into 5 distinct categories. This whole idea is called the diffusion of innovation.
First up to the plate, you've got the innovators. This is a tiny group, just 2.5% of the market. These are the adventurous folks who love trying new things just for the sake of it. They're the true risk takers.
Following right behind them are the early adopters. Now, this group is absolutely crucial. These are the opinion leaders, the people everyone else looks to. They think it through, and when they give a new product their stamp of approval, it gets a ton of credibility.
And now we're hitting the mainstream, the early majority. These are the pragmatists. They're not going to jump on any bandwagons right away. No, they wait until a product has proven itself, until they can see a real benefit. Then, and only then, do they get on board.
Next up, we've got the late majority. These folks are your natural skeptics. They're a bit resistant to change, and they'll usually only adopt a new product when they start to feel like they're being left behind. You could almost call it FOMO-driven adoption. And finally, bringing up the rear, we have the laggards. This group is very tradition-bound, super suspicious of change. They will only adopt something new when the old way of doing things isn't even an option anymore.
So once a product is out there in the world and people start adopting it, it begins to live its own life, a life that has a beginning, a middle, and eventually an end.
This classic S-curve you're looking at, it basically tells the life story of a product. It charts the ups and downs of its sales and profits through 4 clear stages. You've got a slow start in the introduction, then a massive spike during the growth phase, a long, stable period of maturity, and then the eventual and, yeah, inevitable decline.
But what's really fascinating is seeing how companies have to completely change their strategy at each stage. This table is a fantastic cheat sheet for it. For example, during the introduction, it's all about building awareness for a pretty basic product. But fast forward to maturity and the whole game has changed. Now it's about defending your market share, maybe adding new features, and squeezing out as much profit as you can. It's a constant evolution.
Okay, we've built it, we've launched it, we've managed its whole life. But we've skipped over one of the most critical decisions of all: how much are we going to charge for it?
When it comes to pricing, there are really 2 big schools of thought. On one side, you have price skimming. That's where you launch with a super high price to get those trendsetters and early adopters who are willing to pay a premium. Think about the latest smartphone when it first comes out. On the other side, you've got penetration pricing. Here, you start low to grab a huge chunk of the market as fast as you can. A lot of new streaming services try this.
You know, getting the price right is just so unbelievably important. And this quote says it all. Price is the only revenue-generating element amongst the 4 Ps, the rest being cost centers. Think about it. Your product, the place you sell it, the promotion, those all cost money. Price is the only part that brings money in. It's the engine for the entire business.
And that brings us to our last question, and it's a real brain teaser. After this whole incredible journey from idea to market, what truly decides the price tag? Is it just what it costs to make the thing, or is it all about the value it holds in your eyes as the customer? It's a fascinating question and one we'll leave you to think about. Thanks for joining us.